So I've made a lot of guide videos on this channel, and some of them are in dire need of updating, and if I'm not mistaken, this was a video I made at some point. I'm pretty sure. The video I'm talking about is the Rainbow Gem shop and detailing what are some of the best true weapons in the game and what are some true weapons that are worth picking up or maybe even considering picking up currently in global. There's been a lot of true weapons that have came out over the last few years since I've done this video, so there's quite a bit to unpack. We have a lot of stuff here to talk about. Let's just dive right in because it's probably gonna be a pretty lengthy video. High priority, you should get these ASAP as soon as you start if you can, or by using your true weapon ticket, which by the way, some of the equips that I will mention on this are also on the true weapon ticket that you get for free. So if you have that ticket and you see that one of the high priority equips are on that, then you should probably pick it up. True Exceeds X is one of the best magic equips in the game here. I actually have two of these bad boys on my account because it is so freaking good and so versatile. You have a pretty low cooldown at 45 seconds. This thing gives you 30 arc gauge if you're above the 75% HP threshold and 50% more arts damage. Also, lifesteal when near death. That is absolutely broken considering this is a 3% lifesteal, and with units critting for like 3 million or hitting for like 300,000, that is going to full heal every single unit in the game. It's just a fantastic item. If you do not have this shit, pick it up and throw it on anybody with the magic slot. It works on physical units, it works on magic units. It is amazing. The next one, True Izanagi, very similar to that of XCZX, but more so for the physical type. This has been like a timeless archgen item too, by the way. Like, it has been good for practically what, 4 years at this point, 5 years, and it's insane. It gives you 2 arc gauge for 3 seconds, which equates to of course 6 arts, and it has a 10-second cooldown with even more cooldown technically, since it does also offer equipment CT down. The equipment CT down is beneficial, of course, for this equip and every single other equip that will be on the units. War God Finn's true weapon is next. This is a 5-star support item that is an AoE archgen item. It also buffs up human allies damage by 40%, which is cool, but we're mainly focused on the AoE archgen here. It's on a 30-second cooldown, which is fantastic. Burst archgen, like, you can't really get better than this. This is a free-to-play archgen item. We don't get too many of these, so if you don't have one, highly recommend picking this up. Another one that is really good is also True Terror Master. True Terror Master gives you 3 arts per second for 10 seconds. Also has a 35% damage up to human allies. It's on a 35-second cooldown. Insanely good AoE archgen item. This one's a little bit different. This is an overtime archgening item. It's not a burst archgen, but still functions insanely well. Highly recommend you get this if you do not have other AoE archgen items. Now, as for the last 2 equips on here, one of them is going to be True Flambardo. This is one of the best defense items in the entire game since it gives you just regular old damage res. It doesn't give you magic damage res, physical damage res. No, this is just neutral damage resist this equip gives you with its skill, and it even gives you more damage res if you're below that 50% HP threshold. It's on a really low cooldown, 25 seconds, which is fantastic since it only lasts for 12, and it pretty much has amazing uptime if you have other characters on the team that, you know, have equipment CT or whatever. So highly recommend picking this up. If you feel like you're dying too much and you need more damage mitigation for the entire team, pick up True Flambardo. Another equip you should pick up for your single target characters or your tanking characters will actually be True Adamus Gear. Now, True Adamus Gear just gives you 35% DR for a single unit, but it's on a 30-second cooldown. It lasts for 15 seconds. Another thing is too, since this is going to be on a taunt tank, they will also benefit from the damage disable up level 2, which will give you even more defense while negating damage. A lot of the taunt tanks already have defense equipped true weapons, but if they don't, like Gerald, for an example, or Volti LR, they will definitely be using True Adamus Gear in most situations. So this stuff extends to 4 different true weapons specifically. You have Jill's true weapon, Regulus's true weapon or True Nemesis Crow, Berwick's true weapon, and Victoire's true weapon. All of these true weapons are insanely good in nuking situations because they lower their respected elements' resistance by 50%. True Stratega, Darkfinn's true weapon, also really good for nukes, by the way. This does increase the damage to enemies by 30%. And now, one item that's not really a damage buffing equip, but is actually really good in nuking situations or in just farming in general, since it is actually a BE output item, is Mirage Kimono. Mirage Kimono buffs up everybody's BE output by 50% and makes it to where you get more BE, which is insanely good if you can't use stuff like Type 0 or, you know, other archgen equips. Another thing is too, is that if you do have the other equip, which is called X Marks the Spot. It's the free-to-play one. This was from the Ruin Rolly event that came out ages ago. You could just use that instead, but if you don't have X Marks the Spot, Mirage Kimono is your next best thing. Now, I won't go over every single one of these that do something like this, but there's a lot that do it. But just know anything that's going to be reducing your magic res or physical res by quite a bit is insanely good. Juno's True Weapon is one of the best ones to pick up because not only is this thing just a really fast animation, it also provides you with 35% magic res down and 20% more magic damage, which is fantastic for whoever actually has this. Another one that you'll definitely want to pick up for all your physical teams is going to be Angelus's True Weapon. Angelus's True Weapon is a conditional physical res down. That means that it will stack with all other physical res downs in the game as long as you meet the condition, which is, of course, you have to burn the enemy with this equip. True Scintilla is good since it buffs up crit damage by 35%. True Owen is a must for any earth damage dealer in the game, especially if they're earth physical damage, because they'll even benefit from the physical damage passive too. Literally the best in slot item for War God Finn as well. And one of the last ones I'm going to recommend here for the nuking equips is going to be actually Valerie's True Weapon. Valerie's True Weapon lowers physical res by 40% and buffs up all ally stats by 30%, which is insanely good since this functions not only as just a heal, but also a 30% attack buff to the team. True Jacko Hasta, also Alvina's True Weapon, is really good at lowering freeze res. If you need to freeze an enemy and the enemy just seems like they won't get frozen with your freeze equips or with your freeze units, use this equip on a character, lowering their freeze res by 60%. They should be able to get frozen now no matter what. If they don't, then they're just immune to freeze. I don't know what else to tell you. Another one that's just like Alvina's True Weapon is going to be Norn's True Weapon, but this is actually for paralysis resist. This is pretty much vital in the Mind's Palamecia fight. You're definitely going to want to have this equip and a paralysis unit in order to paralyze that boss to deal any significant damage to them, so insanely good in that regard. True Maelstrom is an equip that doesn't come up too often, but can be insanely good at certain points. If you're a water unit, you buff up all ally stats, element resist by 100% for 12 seconds. Of course, not every boss in the game you'll need to use this on, but if you're doing specific nukes and they wind up paralyzing you, or they have a chance to paralyze you or a chance to poison you or whatever, using an equip like this will just pretty much negate that mechanic entirely, and you don't have to worry about it, and you can continue on with your day. Mixie's equip, also really good. Now, it does give you arc gauge, which is kind of whatever, but the main thing is here, it poisons. If you need a lot of different poison equips, especially to tackle one of the crest palaces, like the Earth Crest Palace, Mixie's True Weapon is not bad by any means. It's an 80% chance to poison the enemy. It's a magic slot, so you're going to be able to throw this on probably one of your characters. This is an equip that I didn't used to like at all, but is now pretty good, especially against bosses that have a lot of evasion. True Dino. True Dino gives you 30% accuracy, also lifesteal as well. Really strong whenever you need that extra bit of accuracy. And then we got Forte's True Weapon. Forte's True Weapon gives you 60% physical damage if you're a human. However, the thing we really want to look at is the accuracy level 2. Same thing, like I said, for Dino. Gonna be using Assault Rifle Sable right alongside your Dinos because, yeah, 20% more accuracy is gonna be absolutely needed against certain fights. And ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it for True Weapons. Like, I could literally talk about every single one of these equips and be like, yeah, there's a use here for it. You know, you use it in this exact fight. You know, this could be good here. And so all these True Weapons, for the most part, are really good. There's not too many bad True Weapons anymore. Pretty much all of them are somewhat decent or just amazing. But this list that I gave you should be a really good, like, rule of thumb to kind of go by for right now, at least in the beginning and pretty much through, like, your mid game and, you know, most of your end game for Grand Summoners. All the equips that I mentioned you're going to be using at some point, and if you need more, then hey, only thing you gotta do is come in here and see if there's anything that you might be looking for that might fit the specific thing you're trying to do. But ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna be it for this video. Tell me down below if you guys found this video helpful or enjoyable. Oh, and one more thing before you leave. Don't forget to drink water.